breaking down the representation of trauma and PTSD in the House of Dragon. House of the Dragon, the intense and captivating prequel to Game of Thrones, has been a hot topic of discussion among fans and mental health professionals alike. The show's creators have delved deep into the emotional and psychological complexities of their characters, providing a nuanced and thought-provoking exploration of the human experience. One aspect of the show that resonates particularly strongly with audiences is its portrayal of trauma and PTSD, particularly through the character of Daemon Targaryen. Played by Matt Smith, Daemon is a complex and multifaceted character, driven by a desire for power and a sense of recklessness that stems from his traumatic experiences. His backstory, which includes the death of his father and brother, sets the stage for a character who struggles with impulsivity, aggression, and emotional regulation. What's noteworthy about Daemon's portrayal is how it subverts traditional PTSD tropes. Rather than depicting him as a shell-shocked, emotionally numb character, Daemon is shown to be highly emotional and intensely passionate. His trauma is raw and visceral, but it's also deeply connected to his emotional expression and relationships with others. This nuanced portrayal speaks to the reality of trauma experiences, where individuals may not necessarily snap into emotional numbness, but rather cycle through intense emotions, impulsivity, and emotional dysregulation. The show's writers have done an exemplary job of capturing the complex after effects of trauma, making Daemon a compelling and relatable representation of the effects of PTSD. The show's exploration of trauma and PTSD is also notable for its inclusion of themes such as survivor's guilt, shame, and the struggle to form healthy relationships. Daemon's relationships with his siblings and loved ones are particularly telling, highlighting the impact of trauma on interpersonal dynamics and attachment styles. For example, his tumultuous relationship. By depicting these complex emotions and dynamics, House of the Dragon provides a more realistic and thought-provoking portrayal of trauma and PTSD than many other shows and stories. Daemon's backstory is characterized by a catalog of traumatic events that have left an indelible mark on his psyche. His father's abuse, in particular, has had a profound impact on his emotional well-being, forcing him to grow up in a state of constant hypervigilance. The physical and emotional cruelty he endured has disrupted his attachment and trust mechanisms, making it difficult for him to form healthy relationships or regulate his emotions. The consequence of this trauma is a complex web of anxiety, shame, and despair that continues to haunt Daemon to this day. Moreover, Daemon's witnessing of his mother's brutal murder has contributed to his post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD) symptoms, such as his flashbacks, nightmares, and avoidance behaviors. These events have primed his nervous system to respond to any perceived threat with a fight-or-flight response, leading him to engage in impulsive and aggressive behavior. His actions, as hinted at throughout the series, are driven by a desperate attempt to avoid the emotional pain and memories that continue to haunt him. By engaging in reckless behavior, such as his fight with Corlys Velaryon in the brothel, Daemon is attempting to numb the pain of his past and momentarily escape the suffocating grip of his traumatic memories. His actions are, therefore, a coping mechanism, a misguided attempt to find fleeting relief from the overwhelming anxiety and despair that has become his constant companion.